Where am I going? Yeah, I wouldn't have enough stuff to talk about if I just recorded everything I did, and it wouldn't be interesting neither. That's an Enderman doing that, because I know that's supposed to be flat. Am I gonna finish this column, or I'm just gonna go to the other corner and do the other column? I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna stop recording this segment at some point, because this is not interesting. Well, there's an old fort over there. That's an Enderman again. That hole. But one of my old forts before I put all the torches down. If you remember that. If you don't, then you can go back and watch the videos if you're really interested in history. Alright, so the next column is here. I'm pretty sure I don't record this, because I've done this already. On the other corner. I mean, it's just the same thing again. Putting the stone down. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Something about once I have all the four corners, the columns in the four corners in place, then we can have a better idea of what the space looks like. Something like that. I'm obviously saying something important because I'm not doing anything important and I'm still recording. I just don't know what I was saying. Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about. And I'm looking around, pointing at things, obviously talking about something really interesting. Yeah, so that's how big that space is. And now that we have that corner, and you know, we can, like, the more you build, the clearer it becomes. I mean, it's one thing to have an idea in your head, but unless you build a model or you draw it, you know, it's very, you can't be sure that what you have in mind is correct until you actually either make a drawing or make a model of it. And that's something you learn in architecture school. And also, like, once you've made the model or you made the drawing, it's not enough to just say, okay, that's it. You have to, you know, look at it and say, okay, is this good? Can it be better? And then you just keep making it better if you can. And now, where are we at this point? I think at this point, yeah, that's right. So I've finished the entire frame now. So I did all of the columns off screen, and we're just gonna start from back there and walk towards it and just see what it looks like when it's finished. You see how it looks different with the vertical bits in, whereas before we just had the horizontal floors and it looks a certain way. And here I'm saying how it's a lot bigger than the old tower. A lot bigger than the old tower. You guys don't even know. Or I guess you do because you were looking at it. This thing is ridiculously big. I don't even know why I decided to do a big project like this. Oh, here we go, we got signs. So we're just gonna make a note of the ideas that we have. So it's gonna be, it's a skyscraper. Yeah, there we go, skyscraper. And it's gonna be villagers. Yes, villagers. So as we said before, we're going to invite an NPC villager to come along and settle in this skyscraper, and we're gonna build houses and homes. Well, maybe not houses, but some sort of dwelling. Rooms with wooden doors. So that's the basic requirement for villagers to settle in, is if you have rooms that have wooden doors on them, then for every wooden door that's part of a room, they'll settle in. I'm talking about the base of the thing now, the plinth, and the first story, and I don't know what I'm talking about. So there's the plinth, the first story, the cloud level, the sky level. That's the things I'm pointing at the moment, and then the stuff in between There's 2 floors in between the ground floor and the cloud level, and then I think there's 5 floors between the cloud level and the sky level. So then we've got the plinth at the bottom, and I'm typing these things in order of priority as well. So when we build the thing, this is what we need to talk. This is the order that we should think about things in. Just because it'd be difficult if we do it out of order. Circulation is the second most important thing. I'm thinking there'll be a staircase, some sort of staircase that you can walk up and down at least, but also maybe a piston elevator or something a bit faster than staircases, because you saw how big it is. It takes a long time to walk up and down the whole thing. So some sort of circulation, maybe in like a separate structure. And then there's the ground floor, as we said, the cloud floor. In the circulation, it might be in a separate structure, so it might not be part of the main building, if you can imagine that. So then there's the sky floor, and then the in-between floors, the in-betweens. And we're doing these things in this order because, circulation, if you build the floors and you forget the circulation, then it's very difficult to put in stairs afterwards, right? Because you already got the buildings in the way. So it's important to do that first. And then the other stuff is just you do the most important stuff first. There, I'm counting, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5? I'm pretty sure it's 5. I could be wrong though. Just counting how many floors there are in the in-betweens. So ground floor, cloud floor, and sky floor, they're basically separate things. They don't have to be in that order, but they are the more important ones. And then after all of that, there's the exterior building a skin. If there is one, it doesn't have to be one. It could just be open, if we want. But if it is, then we need to have a good reason for that. What else am I talking about now? I can't think of anything else to say except for what's already on the list there. I keep looking at the cloud floor. I must be fascinated by that cloud there. What am I? See, I did this just now too. This is the last part of the video, and I just recorded it, and I can't even remember what I was saying like half an hour ago. The ladder is temporary. I don't intend to keep the ladder there. Although I might. The grass is barely up to the first floor, or the first level. So there's a long way to go yet for the grass to get to the top. What else could I possibly be talking about here? Oh, the plinth, that's right. So the plinth is just gonna be a square platform up to the level of the dirt there that you can see. And I'm saying how the next thing I'll do is to dig out the sand underneath the plinth, because I want to collect the sand, because sand is quite scarce, ironically, or counterintuitively. The sand is actually quite valuable to me. And I'm gonna fill in all of that with dirt up to the bottom of the stone columns there that you can see. And I'm still talking about that. I don't know why I have so much to say. Oh, put a lag there. That's interesting. And right now you can see through the building like this. Like you can see all the way to the sky. Of course, once you put the floors in, you won't be able to do that anymore. So it's not gonna be quite like that. Like once we put the floors in, it's gonna be a lot more enclosed than this. If you can visualize, there'll be floors and then there'll be rooms in between, and then you certainly won't be able to see through the whole building like that. unless you choose to leave it open, of course. And here I'm just changing the chunk updates. 3 is probably a good balance between frame rate and the speed at which the map loads. Now that I'm using DxTory, I can afford to have the chunks update faster because it doesn't, like, the recording doesn't kill the frame rate as much anymore. So we'll see if that's a good setting. 3, we can always play with that. So what am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at the chunk updates in the distance. If you look on the right there, at the hanging gardens, you see the chunks coming in, and I'm just talking about how the frame rates aren't really affected very much because DxTory is so much more efficient than Fraps. But that's not important for you guys, I don't think. Yeah, you can see how it's quite different now that the columns are in. It's not as open as it appeared to be before we put them in. Oh, here we go. We're talking about how there's 16 blocks between each level, and you can in fact put a 4-story building into this. If you consider in the real world, floor-to-floor heights, like a 4 meter from floor to floor is not uncommon. So I'll show you what I mean here. So 3 and then 1 floor, a 3 meter space, and then a floor, and then a 3 meter space, and then a floor, and then we have like a 2 meter space at the top. So if we figure out how to get down, or just do that, then you have 3 meters from floor to ceiling. That's fairly comfortable. It's not extravagant, but it's certainly comfortable. Like 2 meters probably not enough, but 3 meters is quite good, and we can fit 3 of those in there with a little bit of extra room at the top as well. So each so-called floor or the skyscraper can in fact have 3-story buildings inside of them quite comfortably, and that's what I'm pointing out there. So if you are wanting to come up with ideas for what to build in the skyscraper, that might be something to keep in mind, just the scale of it. And obviously the ground floor is even bigger than that, and the 16 by 16 module is big enough to fit several houses from a normal NPC village inside of it. So there's a lot of room to work with here, if you think about it. Now, where am I going? Nowhere. Keep going up. I guess it just looks the same all the way to the top, so it's not that special, except for the cloud level, which is really special, but we've talked about that one already. And I think I'm just going to go all the way to the top and maybe discuss the sky level, although I don't remember what I have to say about that. Hopefully this audio will sync up okay with the other stuff, like with the video. The post-recording is, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I think this is the first time I'm doing post-recording. Hopefully it turns out okay. What do I have to say? I don't think I actually have very much to say at all. So again, oh that's right, oh crap, I better say it before I run out of time. I'm going to release the save file at this point as well. Just, if you guys want to try building stuff in the skyscraper yourselves, then you can, download the file and try out for yourself. I'm talking about the height of the top floor here. So yeah, I'm going to release the save file, and if you guys have any interesting ideas for the NPC village that I'm going to build inside the skyscraper, I'd be interested to hear your ideas. And again, like, I might not build your idea, but I think just sharing ideas is valuable. Just talking to people about your ideas, and for me to hear more different ideas, I think that's valuable for me as well. So I think it's always interesting to exercise our imagination and think about what's possible. So that's what I would like if you guys are into it. And I mean, if you want to take the file and download it and build something and then show me what you've done, that'll be cool too. I mean, if you want to do that, don't have to, but I think that might be interesting. I think I'm talking about the chunk updates again and the lag, which is not that interesting, to be honest. And I'm saying how the skyscraper at the moment is actually quite complex because you have all these overlapping shapes, and that's not good for frame rates. But that's not a big deal. What else? Well, we can see the sunset in the distance, and I was saying at this point how the sunsets look different as well because we're above the clouds. Although I don't really know what the implications of that are, but maybe that's also something we want to keep in mind as we figure out what to build and how to build things in the skyscraper, because we are above the clouds, we are way above the horizon, and just thinking about what the sunset and sunrises look like from up here. Well, they look like that, but how do we build something that looks good given the height that we are at? Anyway, I don't know what I'm going on about, but maybe that's just something to keep in mind. And that's the end of the video, I believe. Yeah, that's the end of the video. Hopefully the next video will be better, not so much post-recording of audio.